Hi, welcome. It's Matt Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. We're going to take a little look at your backswing and then especially your takeaway from the golf ball and maybe how important that movement is initially from the ball, and sometimes if that movement isn't correct, how then that can create us to put compensations in during the downswing to try and correct what you've done in that backswing. So obviously this can all affect how the golf ball sort of flies, so ultimately trying to create more consistency on the downswing can be very much connected by creating an easier movement or more simple movement on that initial takeaway from the golf ball. So just before we jump into the video, thanks very much for watching. Welcome back if you're a regular viewer. If you're a new viewer, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get notifications of any future videos. Also, follow me on my social media platforms, which is Twitter and Instagram, both at MN Golf Coach, and hopefully we can improve your golf games. Okay, so the first initial movement away from the golf ball, the takeaway, and maybe how important that is. We're going to have a little discussion on this and maybe point out a couple of movements that I typically see in pupils through my day-to-day coaching here at the Academy. So the backswing, I think, or the first movement can be very important as to how it sets the movement throughout the whole backswing, and then that in turn can dictate whether you then need to put a compensation in on the downswing to try and control your club face in relation to target, your swing direction, obviously your flight of your golf ball. So two typical movements I tend to see golfers do, and this can create both left shots or right shots, but the first one I tend to see is very much a sort of disconnection on the takeaway. So what I mean by that is when the hands sort of very much disconnect, the hands and arms disconnect from the body and the club gets sort of thrown out. But then I see some people try and get that club head back around. So what happens is the hands and arms disconnect, but then they throw in a lot of wrist movement here to try and flip that head back behind them. So very much of a disconnection on that takeaway there. We'll put in some big angles in these arms and the shaft on the way back, and obviously that can create some very different movements going up to that top of the backswing. The second typical one I tend to see is one which is brought very much on the inside, or we're going sort of under that plane line. So the first movement we go, and this is quite a common one I think, because most golfers will try and strive for that in to out swing path, but they'll try and do all that through this initial takeaway and not realising that actually tends to have an effect of what then you do on that downswing. So what I tend to see is it works under the plane, so i.e. the hands and arms work right across this right thigh, this trail thigh, and obviously the club head gets whipped way behind the body at this stage and obviously gets stuck behind, and then the hands tend to then come over to try and find some room, and obviously that can create that over the top movement, which is a typical cause of the slice of the golf ball. So I'm going to give you a couple of very, very simple drills here just to get this club moving away from the ball in the correct manner, a simple manner, and getting some very simple but good consistent positions which hopefully should help you deliver that downswing a lot better. Now I'm not saying this is completely going to transform your downswing, because obviously we can still do some wrong movements on the way down, but it's going to help to try and create some consistency. Okay, so the first very simple one here is obviously you've got a ball you're going to be hitting, and then imagine your target line there, and we're going to position a second ball approximately about 2 feet away from the one you're hitting, but these are on that same target line. Okay, and the objective here, because it's a visual, and I like using visual drills like this because it's easy for when you're on the range on your own to get some sort of feedback and track this, is really obviously getting to your setup position, and then you're just going to work that club head over that ball behind you. Okay, so it's a very, very simple drill, working it over that ball behind you, and then you can work that up to the top of the swing. So if you were to get that disconnection that we talked about earlier, that first point, and obviously the hands and arms go out, you'll see that club head just travel way to the outside of that second ball, or to the far side of it. Okay, and obviously if we do the other way, where we work it very much around us or under that plane, then you'll see the club head very, very easily come under the inside of that second ball, your body side, and obviously that creates that swing path that's going to go very sort of around that body on that backswing. So if we can, very simple movement, you could do a couple of little movements away, just work it over that ball, helps you to create that little bit of width in the swing, but also that swing direction improvement away, more neutral from that target line. And then we'll give this one a go. That's a lovely straight golf shot. Okay, so first tip there, second ball behind, that's on your target line, and you can move that club over that ball just to try and get that right movement away from your golf ball. Okay, so the second little drill I'm going to give you here is you're going to require 2 alignment sticks, which many of us have nowadays. If not, you can pick these up for, I think, somewhere between £10–15 for a pair, so they're not expensive. And this is going to be done without a golf club, because it's going to give you a really good feel of what the arms are doing as a connection with that body, just in that initial sort of first few feet away from the golf ball. So we talk about the one-piece takeaway, don't we? How the sort of arms, the chest and the club all move away as one unit away from that golf ball. So as I said before, when we get those different movements where the arms separate, the arms tend to work very much separate to what the body's doing. The wrists get involved, and obviously that affects what this club face is doing through the backswing and also the swing, backswing direction. So very simple drill here. So 2 alignment sticks, and I want you to tuck them under your armpits and obviously cross them over out in front of you, and then just in a position here where you can maybe just hook your thumbs there just to basically hold them into that cross section there, so your arms are fairly extended, and they'll be sort of down each of those alignment sticks here. I'll stand this way to you so you can see this a little bit easier. Okay, but what it does, it creates that connection, it creates that sort of triangle across your shoulders here, and also down your arms to the point here where your hands are, and all you're just going to do here is just move it away. And what you'll find here is you can't work these arms separate to the body, so everything works together. So you've got your arms and your chest all working together, and as I say, we're only talking about this first movement to about here. Okay, because after that, obviously your arms are going to slightly start to separate from the body as you hinge and you work the second phase of that backswing to the top. But if you just wedge this under your armpits, get it to the V at the bottom where your hands are, and then just make some movements here. And this is a great drill where you can do at home or in between your golf shots on the range, just to get a really good sort of feeling. So do that a few times. You definitely feel you can't get your arms involved, because obviously these sticks are tucked under your armpits. Gives you a great feeling there. So once you've done that a few times, just chuck the sticks to the side, grab your club, maybe do this in conjunction with that ball behind as well. Okay, and then just try and get that same feeling here now as you work this club away. And again, another nice neutral shot. So sometimes that backswing, or the first takeaway from the golf ball, is sometimes very overlooked. And as I say, a bad movement can create compensations to come into that downswing, which sometimes we don't realise are actually there. So definitely try those drills. It's always a good thing. It helps a little bit with a smoother takeaway as well, which is always good. So you're not rushing that club away from that golf ball, snatching it away. So it helps a little bit with that tempo also. So definitely give that a go. Let me know your comments. Fire some comments down in the section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on different, maybe your drills that you use to get the club moving away in the right sort of fashion and right manner. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so. Hit that bell icon. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both at MN Golf Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.